Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Matt and I do like video games, and in today's video, well, it's some more good news for Xbox. Microsoft has officially beat the FTC in court and can now actually close the acquisition of Activision Blizzard in the US, as well as I think it's 40 other countries or 39 other countries at this point. I mean, regardless, whatever the number of places is, it's a lot of places that they can officially close the deal now. So let's get into it and let's talk about it. So guys, you're going to be hearing the phrase "before we get into this" a few times in this video. And the reason for that is the fact that what you're going to see in about a minute from now is stuff that I recorded last night. But what I'm recording now is what I need to record as I edit this video, because last night the news didn't break that Microsoft and Sony signed a deal to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. But I woke up today, started editing my video, went on Twitter just to check. I mean, it's a Sunday, I didn't expect any news to drop. So I went on Twitter just to check in. Well, I saw that PlayStation and Microsoft did sign this deal. And obviously this is great news. Call of Duty isn't going to be taken away from anybody. In fact, more people are going to get to play it. We expected Microsoft to keep it on PlayStation, whether this deal exists or not. But the big news is that PlayStation and Microsoft, whoever the people are who are in the room together, are sending emails back and forth. They shook hands, they agreed on a deal, and now we can all start to move on. But let's get into the video. And guys, I'm not going to go super in depth on the whole law aspect of the FTC versus Microsoft, because I don't know what I'm talking about in that regard. All I really know is games, and that's what this is all about at this point. Microsoft has finally beat the FTC and can officially close this deal in the US as well as many other places, and some people even speculate that that could happen as soon as Monday, which means that there's a chance that by the time you see this video on Monday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, maybe the deal has already gone through. Maybe they've already pushed it through. Maybe it's already up on Xbox's Twitter account. Maybe it's up on Microsoft's account. Maybe it's already being talked about. And if that's the case, then hey, that's awesome. Let's all celebrate. It's going to be an amazing time, right? But listen, guys, if it's not the case, if it's not announced on Monday, don't worry about it. It'll be time to celebrate soon enough. They're still working things out with the CMA. They probably want to try to do things nicely, play along politely with the CMA and the CAT and everything. Let it cook, okay? Just be patient. But the good news is that now we can start to get back to talking specifically about the games, which is what I love. It's what I know you guys love, and that's what we're all here for. And man, Xbox's future is going to be absolutely littered with games, which is wild when you look back to like 2014, 2015. Things were not looking okay for Xbox. Things were looking the worst they've ever looked for Xbox, in fact. So to go from having not really any first party to speak of outside of, Halo, Gears, and Forza, to now where we are with Xbox as of this moment, and where we will be in just a few weeks, or maybe just a few days, honestly, maybe tomorrow as I'm recording this. It's absolutely crazy to think about, and it makes me ask myself the question, what do I want to see Microsoft do the most with Activision? What do I want to see from Activision after they're acquired by Microsoft? I mean, you already know that Call of Duty isn't going to stop. They aren't stopping Call of Duty. What I would like to see specifically with Call of Duty is just a little bit of a break in between each one. I know they said they wanted to do biannual Call of Duty releases. I think I like that idea. I mean, ideally, I would like 2-3 years in between each Call of Duty, but I don't think we're ever going to get to that point. But a Call of Duty every other year seems like a step in the right direction. I know that's what they wanted to do with Modern Warfare 2 and to the next Call of Duty, but it seems like they're just going to pump out a Modern Warfare 3 remake a year later, so I guess we'll be getting that. But I ideally would like to see them stick to, one every 2 years. I also think that's something that's very realistic. I mean, even before Microsoft had officially acquired them, that was already their plan. So I think it's very realistic that they can continue forward with that plan after the acquisition. But that's just Call of Duty. What about other things? Because Activision owns tons and tons of IP. I mean, just look at some of the IP. I've brought it up over here on this website. Call of Duty, you've got Crash Bandicoot, Diablo, Guitar Hero, Gun, Hexen, you've got Overwatch, you've got Prototype, Singularity, Space Quest, you've got Spyro the Dragon, StarCraft, you've got Tenchu, True Crime. I remember playing True Crime back on like the original Xbox. It's a phenomenal game. In fact, there's two of them, I believe. True Crime Streets of LA, and I want to say there's one for New York, but I don't think I've played much of the New York one. Regardless, some absolutely phenomenal IPs, and that's not even mentioning the last one there, World of Warcraft. I mean, one of the biggest IPs in gaming in general. Now, if someone were to ask me what I want to see come back out of this list of games here, I mean, I'm looking at Hexen off the bat. I think Hexen is an easy comeback, and they've got the perfect studio to do it. I'm looking at you, id Software, because id Software, if you don't know, they did Hexen. I mean, that couldn't be more up id Software's alley, and once Microsoft acquires Activision Blizzard, I think that's a reality that we could absolutely see. And then you got things like Guitar Hero. Now, I don't know about you guys. I don't know. What am I saying? Everybody loved Guitar Hero back in the day. Just about everybody loved Guitar Hero. And if you didn't, fine, that's fine. But a lot of people love Guitar Hero. It was huge back in the day. I think the problem with Guitar Hero was they kind of overdid it. They kind of oversaturated it. It was like Madden. Every year a Guitar Hero came out, and it didn't really feel necessary. In fact, I remember, I think there was like one year, like 2009, maybe 2008, where multiple Guitar Heroes released in the same year. I want to say Aerosmith was one of them, and maybe World Tour. I could be wrong about that. I can't remember, but they were getting to a point where multiple of them were being released in the same year. I think another easy win to bring back would be Prototype. You think of all the superhero things and media right now. You've got movies, games, Spider-Man 2's coming out. You've got all sorts of stuff, TV shows. It feels like there's a new superhero TV show every other day. Marvel just keeps making them. DC keeps making them. It's ridiculous. But do you know what we don't have right now? Is an anti-hero game. The last time we had an anti-hero game was, what was that? Infamous Second Son, early in the PS4 generation. And then obviously PlayStation just started making Spider-Man games. They weren't going to waste their time with Infamous, especially when Sucker Punch is hard at work on Ghost of Tsushima. So they kind of just stopped making Infamous games. But if we can bring back Prototype, that fills a gap in the market that really is not being filled right now. And I've got a game here that I don't think a lot of people are going to focus in on, and you know, rightfully so. I don't think it sold that great. It wasn't the most popular game when it released, but I remember playing it actually on my PS3, believe it or not, and this game was fantastic, and it was a game called Time Shift. Now, this is an FPS game, if you don't know, a really, really good FPS game, and it's something that I feel like fits perfectly in modern gaming, and it's kind of insane that we haven't seen this IP expanded upon at this point. But that is definitely another series I would love to see come back. I know a lot of people are going to say, you know, Spyro the Dragon, Crash Bandicoot, and yes, of course, I would love to see those games make a comeback on a regular basis. I know Crash and Spyro kind of came back a little bit there at the end of the Xbox One generation. Felt like we kind of gravitated some steam towards those series, and we haven't seen them since. And then now, of course, you've got Toys for Bob almost exclusively only making Call of Duty content, which means, hey, it's probably going to be a while before you see those games again. But then you got things like Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Bring back Tony Hawk Pro Skater. In fact, where the hell are all the skateboarding games? I know Skate is doing some playtesting and whatever for their next game. I cannot wait for that game. I'm really excited for that game. But in the meantime, what do we got? You've got Session released finally out of early access. Session released its full game, and it's great and everything, but that is a real skating sim. That's nothing like Tony Hawk Pro Skater. In fact, there's not many things like Tony Hawk Pro Skater. That's why it's so unique. That's why people love it so much. It's kind of insane to me that we got the remake for 1 and 2, and we just saw nothing from it ever again. But realistically, there is a lot of games on this list that I would love to see come back after this acquisition goes through. But the point of this video really is to ask you guys, what do you want to see happen after this acquisition? What games would you like to see come back? Like, let's say you're in charge of Xbox or you're in charge of Activision. What's the first thing on your list to bring back after this acquisition goes through? Leave a comment down below. Let me know about that. Leave a like if you like the video. And if you're enjoying this kind of content and you want to stay up to date with it going forward over here on the channel, the best way to do that is consider subscribing, consider ringing that notification bell, because that helps you stay up to date with everything that happens over here on the channel, and it helps push me in the algorithm, helps promote my videos to other people, and I really, really do appreciate that. And with that being said, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.